The Suburban brings you a harrowing tale of desperation from the heart of Chitungwiza. As the world commemorates Women's Month and World Water Day, the Women for Water movement has shed light on the unthinkable struggles faced by the community. Join us as we uncover the heartbreaking stories of women who endure unimaginable hardships in their quest for this most basic necessity, water.
Life in Zingwa, and I'm the National Coordinator for Community Water Alliance, which is a civil society organization that does work around 3 program areas. The first one is WASH, which is water, sanitation and hygiene. The second one, environment. Then the last one, climate, where we are dealing with climate resilience, mitigation and adaptation. So the context for water delivery within Harare is such that the city of Harare supplies water to all the local authorities that are surrounding. So it supplies water to residents within Harare, it supplies water to Chitungwiza municipality, it supplies water to Noton municipality, to Epworth local board, to Rua local board. So those are the contextual realities in the city. And at the moment they have got 2 water treatment plants, Morton Jeffrey and Prince Edward. So the design capacity of these 2 water treatment plants is 704 if they are operating at full throttle. Yet demand on a daily basis within the metropolitan province is 1,200 megaliters. So even if the local authority is given all the money by government that it might require, still there will be a shortage. Now we come to what is being produced at the moment by the city. The city is producing between 200 megaliters to 300 megaliters per day, depending on the availability of water treatment chemicals. So you would find that of that 200 megaliters, they are supposed to cater for water demands within the metropolitan province, which I have said is pegged at 1,200 megaliters. Chitungwiza on its own, on a daily basis, requires 70 megaliters per day to meet water needs at household level. So those are the contextual realities of challenges around access to water. And what needs to be done for Chitungwiza particularly is to ensure that those who are responsible for construction of water reservoirs, particularly Muda Dam, play their role and the accompanying water treatment plant. And that role cannot be played by Chitungwiza municipality. This is the position that I have said, because if you look at the Zinwa Act, if you look at the Water Act, the role of dam construction is not delegated to a local authority. And we only have a peculiar situation which happened before independence when it comes to construction of Chiwero Dam, which was done by City of Harare because of the then 1976 Water Act that existed during that time. But at the moment, the role of construction of dams rests with the Zinwa and the responsible ministry. If you go and ask anyone, even at municipality, Chitungwiza municipality, they will tell you that at one point they did a feasibility study on construction of Muda Dam, and that study was not accepted wholly because it is not their role to undertake that process. So water delivery has to be understood from that matrix. And number 2, yes, we might have bores, solar powered bores. This is not ideal because we also have we can deplete groundwater resources, and we have seriously contaminated groundwater resources within the metropolitan province, which is a research that was produced by a government institution, Upper Manyami Catchment Council. And majority of the bores, especially in Chitungwiza municipality, even those sunk by honorable members of parliament, they are not clean because they don't have standards when it comes to inline chlorination system, which is required, which are guidelines that have been produced by government and even UN institutions, UNICEF included. So the challenge is on access to water for Chitungwiza. We have to ensure that honorable members of parliament play their role when it comes to oversight, when it comes to holding ministers responsible, accountable when it comes to construction of Punji and the accompanying water treatment plant. So for that to happen, we have to speak to the budget, to the national budget. We look at how much has been channeled towards that particular construction. We can't have a situation because, you know, a budget is a legal document. That's why it is passed in December by Parliament. So that those who spend public resources spend within the confines of the law. within the confines of the budget. If anything is not within the budget, you can't take money and spend money which is not contained in the budget. So the first port of call, the first starting point, let's look at the national budget. Let's have provision for Muda term. And if that happens, then we can know that over years we'll have Muda term and the accompanying water treatment plant and address challenges on access to water within Chitungwiza. I think you are aware that besides Bohera being the national epicenter of cholera outbreak in the last year, pushing to this year. After Bohera, when the problems in Bohera were partly addressed, we had Chitungwiza being the epicenter at national level. So that speaks to what groundwater resources, contaminated groundwater resources can do. And on that one, I think Chitungwiza municipality should be held accountable when it comes to contamination of groundwater resources. We have a sewer treatment plant in Chitungwiza that has never been serviced over years, and it is the sole treatment plant that is contaminating, and the accompanying sewer base within the city, which are not being attended by the responsible department within the Chitungwiza municipality. So if that is addressed, then we are rest assured that at least our groundwater resources are safe. The implications I've talked about: cholera outbreak, diseases, you see, a burden on women. The sick are cared for by women, and any issues related to water delivery affect women because we have a patriarchal system in our nation where nanny paying household chores are confined to women. So the burden rests squarely with women, unfortunately, which should not be the case. You see, I think what needs to be done as a short term, I appreciate that the bores can be a short-term gap measure to address some of the challenges. But we need to ensure that those bores have standards. They are national standards that were produced by government, that were also endorsed by UN institutions, particularly those that are responsible for water delivery. Every bore should have an inline chlorination system. Every bore should be regularly assessed in terms of the quality of water that it is delivering to residents. And Chitungwiza municipality, particularly the health department, if you look at the Public Health Act, has that responsibility to ensure that they assess water quality on a quarterly basis and publish results, and corrective measures should be taken, one of which I have already stated, which is ensuring that there is an inline chlorination system on every bore that's delivering water to residents.
Matambudziko iwayo ekushaya mvura akonzeresa zvakawanda: kubhinywa kwemadzimai, kubhinywa kwevanasikana, vanakomana. Zviri zvekuti dai dambudziko iroro rapera, taikwanisa kugarawo munharaunda tisina kutya kuti nguva dzakati ndinokwanisa kubuda ndichinochera mvura muzvibhorani macho kuti tiende. Idambudziko guru, koze pane vanenge vakatogarira kuti tisiwe pano pachibhorani tisinofanirwa kutanga tachera. Apa iwe usemudzimai ndenge ndoda kumbodzoka kumba ndogadzirira baba, ndogadzirira vana, ndozvigadzirirawo inini, pamwe pacho ndenge ndiriwo mukadzi anenge achienda kubasa. Saka matambudziko futi atinosangana nawo dai zvagadziriswa izvozvo.
Dambudziko remvura rinda kutanga gore rino tatione makore tichitambudzika. Sometimes tatotakura mbaura kunorarama pachibhorani muna June kuitira kuti tibate nzvimbo. Taitotazwa vari kutoti kunonyoresa zuva raro rega hamutorari mumba, saka kuratidza taitoita mazuva akasusukidzana tisingarari mumba. Pamwe pacho taisiya vana mumba vega. Time yekuchikoro yaitokwana mwana usati waenda kunomubikira kuti aende kuchikoro wochingori mukiu yemvura. Kwakazoita vamwe maivo vakazorwarawo tiri pamvura ipapo, vakatodonana nhasi maivo vakastroke varimo muzengedza imomo. Takafunga pamwe vakapindwa nechando makanga muri muna June, pamwe chaive chiri chando. Tichifamba kudai tese tine zvirwere zvatiinazvo zvakangosiyana siyana. Vamwe vairumwa nembwa pakumukira kunotora mvura iyoyo, vaitorumwa nembwa nekuti mamwe mayadhi panenge paine mbwa. zvinhu zvataitosangana nazvo izvozvo. Saka ranga riri dambudziko rakatokura chaizvo. Vamwe vedu vakatotsvirwa nemwana amuka makuseni achida kubatidza gasi kuti abike tii, unenge wanonokaka kubva kuchibhorani, mwana akatotsva. Iyo nguva yataitambudzika mvura tichinorara kuzvibhorani, asi nanhasi hazvisati zvatopera. Tichingori mudambudziko naro iroro, tichitongori naro dambudziko iroro. Kozoita izvozvo kuti ukada kuti uende kunochera mvura nozudzwa undaucheri kana mainhingi vasina kuchera, nekuti vanenge vari kutungamirira vedu havasi kutiitirawo zvinhu zviri fe. Saka matambudziko iwayo tinosangana nawo pakuchera mvura.
Isusu samaparlamentaries tine basa ratinoita kusaridza kwamakaita, ende makakodzera kuti muzivewo kuti basa raMP nderei. MP ane mabasa matatu. Rekutanga nderekumiririra imimi zvichemo zvenyu zvichienda nazvo kuparamende. Rechipiri nderekugadzira mitemo inotonga nyika. Rechitatu nderekuona kuti executive iri kushandisawo here maresources enyika zvakanaka, anova maresources enyika. Kana tichibvira executive tinoreva maministers, handititonzwanana tobasa ramaMP. Dambudziko ratakatarisana nazo zvakaita mucommunity medu muno muchitungwiza zviri maringe nemvura. Mvura yedu tinowana kubva kuguta reHarare, ende hazvigoni kuti guta reHarare riime vagari veko mvura richipaise kuno kuchitungwiza. Vanototanga vatomira shuwa kuti vanhu vemuHarare vaona chii? Mvura. Saka isusu sevagariwo vekuchitungwiza, isusu sevamiririri vedu, tiri kupushawo kuti dai hurumende yabatsirana nekanzuro yedu tavaka dhamu redu remudako, kuitira kuti tega tigokota tichiwana mvura yedu tega. Nyange zvazvo zvakadaro, isusu sevamiriri vedu tine mari dzatopuwa nehurumende inonzi Constituency Development Fund. Mari iyoyo tinoishandisa futi kana kugadzira zvibhorani kana mwadi munomu. Ini somiriri wenyika yakati zvibhorani munomu takatarisana nepazingeza 3 high school.
My name is Chitungwiza. I reside in Ward 11 or Sangeza 3 in Chitungwiza. We are celebrating World Water Day here in Chitungwiza under Women for Water movement. I'm also part of that movement. So when it comes to abuse and stuff like that, in connection with water challenges in Chitungwiza, women and young girls are facing serious abuses at water points. You go to fetch water, you see there are water bouncers at the water points. They ask for money, or if you don't have money, they start saying, what can you do? What can you give us so that you can get water? So you can see the challenge that you are facing. It's a serious challenge. Women and girls are going to be prone to these diseases, STIs, because they have no choice. They want water, they need water. Water is a necessity, water is a right, but it's being violated. Because in Chitungwiza we don't have clean, safe and potable water running from our taps. Our taps have run dry for quite a long time. So we are appealing to the powers that be so that they can give us water in Chitungwiza. Most probably, if you can have our own water source. Because currently we are getting water from Harare, so Harare is not able to feed its population and then give us water as well. So please, we are looking for our own water source in Chitungwiza so that women and girls can be safe from abuse.
My name is Caroline Chitungwiza. I'm the Director for Sprout Women Empowerment Trust and also the team leader for the Women for Water movement. It's a movement that we are bringing women together, especially from Chitungwiza, because this is where we started. This is where we grew up. So the team is comprised of young women from Chitungwiza who are coming together to say, how do we organize women so that they are able to speak their own stories, and so that we can engage the duty bearers, so that we are ahead when it comes to the struggles that we are facing around water issues, especially here in Chitungwiza. Our issue really has mainly been that we don't have our own water source in Chitungwiza, yet our population continues to grow. And we've been getting water from Harare, which is hardly enough. Of course, boreholes have been put in our areas, but these are some of the issues that were coming up. The boreholes that have been put have water that is coming out that is contaminated. And if you look at the report that came, I think it was 2 weeks back, that says 70% of our water that we are receiving is contaminated. It gives us a really big challenge to say, how do we as women operate? Because everything that we do, household chores, taking care of the family, requires us to have water. So this is our crisis, and we thought, as we are looking at Women's Month, it's really critical to speak to some of the challenges that we face as women, and water being pertinent to some of those challenges. So when you look at the challenges that women face, really, you can't separate them from our social service delivery. Because when water is there, aligned to what the Constitution says, Section 77, that we should have safe, clean and potable water in our homes, that is not happening. So the challenge is that it's something that we've been talking about, but there's, the progress or the rate at which we want things to move is not what we are getting. We are really struggling when it comes to the delay. Like, look for example, we have cholera. We have a cholera crisis. We also had COVID, and who were at the forefront of fighting those issues? It's women. So you find that these issues go beyond just what you are seeing on the outside, and we take the issues home, where you're seeing a lot of gender-based violence happening. So you're spending so much time in the water public spaces, and then when you come back, your husband is saying, where have you been? What have you been doing? You're also seeing, I think you heard some of the women saying they wake up very early in the morning, as early as 4, as early as 3, to try and go and access water. And it's unsafe for them to do that at such a time. You can even look at people with disability. You can imagine if an able-bodied woman is struggling to get water. What about those? What about the elderly women that we have? So these are some of the challenges that we are facing, and it's not a unique challenge to Chitungwiza, really. That's why you're seeing that it's a way for us to engage and get in the space. And we've also tried to partner with many organizations who are working with women to try and speak with one voice. Because if we speak, Blawayo is crying, Harare is crying, Chitungwiza, we are on our own. As long as we are speaking in our silos, our voice is not loud enough. So we are trying to make this movement a really bigger movement, a movement that grows beyond Chitungwiza, that touches on issues of Harare, because we can't separate ourselves. So we are looking into making it a very big movement, a national movement, and a movement that can even connect with other organizations beyond our own. Because looking at water issues, really, when you want to get deeper into it, we have the environmental crisis that we are facing. Climate change is upon us. We are facing drought as we speak. So it means that beyond looking at water as something that we use, we are also looking at it as a driver of poverty, something which is critical that we should speak about during this Women's Month. I think with the issue of facing harassment at water points, for us it's a reality. It's something that is happening, and what we need to do beyond this is now to sit with council, to say, you've heard what people said, who is controlling these bore points? What can we do to learn from each other? What interventions can we do together with council so that we can move forward and try to eliminate where violence is emanating from at the water points?
As we close this segment, let us not turn a blind eye to the plight of these resilient women. From all of us here, let us stand in solidarity with the Women for Water movement and work towards a world where no one has to trade their dignity for a fundamental human right. Thank you for tuning in.